Hi, multi-million dollar agents. This is Napoleon Lawson from Motto Mortgage HPLB, and today we're going to learn how to create the ultimate Facebook business page. Now, the reason I called you guys multi-million dollar agents is because if you're watching this video, you are well on your way to accomplishing that goal. As you know, Facebook can be a great tool for attracting leads and converting them to clients, but it's very important that you project an image that's going to say, you're professional and you're an expert in your craft. So today, we're not going to cover all the bells and whistles on Facebook, but we're going to cover the basics today, and then we're going to get into some more advanced topics in some later videos. But today, we're just going to go over 5 things, which are how to create your Facebook page, how to edit the information on your Facebook page, how to edit the appearance of your Facebook page, how to post content on your page, and then finally, how to create a fan base. Okay, so settle in, and here we go. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our home page and we're going to select create page. And once you select that, it's going to take you to the next page where Facebook is going to ask you to select the type of page you want to use. Now, this is very important. The type of page you select is important because ultimately when we get into other things like Facebook ads and purchasing and things of that nature, the type of page you select is going to dictate how Facebook uses and applies your advertising dollars. By that I mean, is it going to advertise your page to just anyone, or is it going to advertise your page to people in your local demographic area? So it's very important that you make the right selection here. And then also I want you to keep in mind, Facebook, since the time we put this presentation together, has made some slight changes aesthetically in terms of how how you transition to this point where you select the type of business page, but the concept is essentially the same. The main point here is that you want to select local business, and then that's going to take you to the next page where you fill out a form that essentially asks you specific information about the name of your business and where it's located and things of that nature. So this part is very simple. Then we're going to go to the next screen where it's going to ask you to select a page name. Now, this is important because you want a name that's going to reflect not only who you are, but also who you serve. And this is important because when you once your page is set up and people do a search for your name in Google or other search engines, for example, if they're searching for someone, like in this example, Atlanta real estate broker, Greg Lyles would come up because he has Atlanta real estate in his page's name. So if you're in Chicago, you may want your name to be Mark Jones, Chicago Realtor, because again, this is going to highlight the area of people that you serve, and that's real estate is the local business, and that's how people make those choices. So you want to be very mindful of what the name is going to be, and then this is also important as we move to the next phase, which is selecting a username. Now, the username and the page name, in my opinion, you want those things to be easily relatable. You want them to be cohesive, and that's important because the username that you select, you're going to actually use that to post it inside the Facebook universe when you're inviting people to join your page, or if you send someone a message and you want to actually link your Facebook business page to whatever text you're typing, the username is going to take them directly to your page. So you want your username to reflect the name of your page or be similar to the name of your page. Okay, so we're going to put in, for example, in this example, Greg Lyles, his username is Greg Lyles Atlanta Real Estate, which is identical to his page name. So let's say you did that, and then that would take us to the next section. Now, before we go to the next section, I want to make something clear. You don't have to select your username right away. You can always do that at a later date, and you can just skip this part of the process and leave the page username blank until you're absolutely certain what you want that to be. And in many cases, I think that's the best thing to do. So the username is ultimately going to dictate what your fan page URL is. So you want to make sure those things are reflecting what you want them to be. So in this case, because he picked at Greg Lyles Atlanta Real Estate, his his fan page URL is identical to that, and that is where you would be able to find him. So with that, we're going to go to the next section, which is how to edit your business information. So here we go. Okay, so editing your business information. Now, the first step to doing that is we're going to go to our about section of our page. And in the about section, that's where you're going to put all of your company's information, how to contact you, fax numbers, websites, email address, all of those LinkedIn pages. All of that information is going to be in your about section. Okay, and then from there, we're going to go to our details section. Now, the details section of our about page is where we're going to put a short, brief summary about our real estate business, where we try to explain to them why they would select us or what makes us different from other realtors. Now, this is short, and it's a little. There's going to be another place that we're going to talk about ourselves also, but the about details, we want to keep those brief. It's only 255 characters, but we want a brief summary about why they might want to select us. Okay. Then next, we're going to go. Oh, one more thing about the about section. You also want to make sure you put in keywords there that are going to attract people to you, or when they put your information on search engines, will help identify you in the areas or the regions you want to be identified in. So, for example, I operate in the Naperville area in Illinois. Well, they're also the Bolingbrook area, Oswego, Warrenville, Joliet. All these areas are near me, so I'll potentially have those keywords in my about section. So when someone does a search on me, that information will come up. Okay, so after that, now we're going to go to our story. Now, our story is where we really make an effort to connect to the people visiting our page, because in our story, we're going to have some information about what drives us, what got us into the real estate industry, maybe what we're passionate about, and we're going to tie all that in to our real estate business. And this is where people get a feel for your personality and really who you are. So you want to make sure what you put in your story is reflective of who you want them to see you and remember you as. Okay. So then from there, we're going to go to the aesthetic aspects of the page. And there are two portions here that are very important. There is your logo, which is going to be an image that's either going to be your face or logo. That's right here in the G section. And then you have the cover image for your page. Now, there's a lot you can do with the cover image. You can put in a single image, or you can put in a video. There are multiple things that can be done with the image, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But we want to make sure we get this right, because if your page isn't aesthetically pleasing, then no matter how good your content or your about or your story sections are, your page won't have the impact that you like it to have. So if you're not, Photoshop savvy, or you're not really good with images and things of that nature, I have a solution for you. And that solution is called Canva. Canva is a website that allows you to create fantastic imagery for the internet and social media, where you can just go in and basically a novice can put something together that's really that really looks good and professional. So you can visit the site, log in, sign up. They have templates that are very attractive, and the templates come in the Facebook required size, which is 828 pixels by 315 pixels. You can visit that site. It's really self-explanatory, and they'll help you create a cover image that is going to be professional and reflect in a positive light. Then also, if you don't want to do it yourself, the next option is you can hire an independent contractor. Now, the site that I love to use is called Fiverr, and on Fiverr you can have an expert go in and actually create aesthetically what you want your Facebook page to look like. Okay, so the next option is to hire a professional service. Now, the service I like to use is called Local Social Pro. Local Social Pro for a reasonable fee, will go in. They will create your Facebook business page aesthetically, make it look like you want to look. They'll create cover imagery for you, and they'll also actually create content. If you like, these are two examples. You can go to these and visit these. I don't want to do it now because I don't want to take you away from the presentation, but they do an excellent job of creating Facebook business pages, and they actually specialize in working with realtors. So I would strongly suggest, if you don't want to use an independent contractor and you want someone who's actually going to maintain the page for you and provide you with the content once you set it up, this is the place to go. So, and if you use them, all that you'd have to do is actually go through the steps for setting up the initial page, and they would do absolutely everything else. They'll do the about for you, and if you want to add something to it or go in and edit it, you can, but they'll basically create the entire page for you and maintain it. So this is a great option. So after we do that, then we want to create what are called call to action buttons. Okay. Now, call to action buttons, these are important, is because they direct people once they reach your page to what you want them to do. This is how you get them to either go to your website, how to get more information about you. There are a bunch of different things you can do with a call to action button, and you have multiple call to action buttons that you can choose from. So here's an example of one. You can use learn more, and learn more will give them the opportunity to go to your website. Another call to action button is the send the message button. Here's an example of that. The send a message button, if they select that, that allows them to reach out and get in contact with you right away. Okay. And then there is the contact us button. Now, here's a perfect example of a really nice, snazzy page with a call to action button. We all know who this is. This is Josh Flaggs from $1 Million Listing. Here he has his photo of himself, and then he has his cover page. It looks really professional. And then if you click here, of course, that would take you to some other website or wherever else he is trying to lead you to go. And here you see that at Josh Flagg. And if you looked at his Facebook fan URL, it would say Facebook at Josh Flagg. So this is a perfect example of what a really professional page looks like with the call to action buttons operating. Okay. So the next thing we want to do is learn how to change our cover image. Here's an example of where you would go. This woman has an image here. You would select change cover image, and then it would take you to your hard drive or your Dropbox, and you can bring in a new image. Or if you don't want to just simply have an image here, there's an option for you can add a video. Now, let's say you don't have a video already of your own. There are several resources that you can use to provide excellent professional video content that you can upload to your page. And one of the providers of this is a site called wave.video. If you go to wave.video, they have professional, very engaging videos for professionals that you can upload and use. And then there's another option called Animoto. Animoto is another site that you can go to use and create engaging Facebook videos. So I would suggest visiting both of these sites and you going through them, signing up, and see if there's something on there that fits the image that you're trying to project. Okay, so then after that, we're going to go to our next section, editing your Facebook business page. To begin that, we're going to start with settings. Now in settings, this is basically the central nervous system of your page, and this is where you're going to determine page visibility, how reviews, moderation updates, and things of that nature. And in terms of visibility, I want to start off by saying, when you initially set up your page, it's important to make it not visible. So you want to go here where it says page visibility, select edit, and unpublish the page. That will set your page in a mode where only you can actually view and see the page, or someone else that you give the ability to make changes to. So that's one of the first things you want to do when you get into settings. Then you want to go to page moderation. Now, In the moderation section, this is where you control what kind of comments and posts people can make to your page. So, for example, if someone says something that isn't flattering to your business, or there are conversations that you don't want had on your page, the page moderation section allows you to type in certain words that will be blocked if they're using your page. Profanity or anything you don't want on your page, you type it in the moderation section, and Facebook will block that content. Then next, we go to the template area. Now, again, if you've used Fiverr or Local Social Pro or some other professional to design how you want your page to look, you probably won't have to go into this area ever at all. But if you've created the page from scratch yourself, when you get here to the template section, this is where you determine how your page will aesthetically be organized and set up. And they have several templates here that let you select how you want things to appear on your page. Okay, so from there we'll go to our next section, which is template details. And the template details area, this is where you go to put certain buttons in various places on the page. So here you're going to make sure that after you select what you want your template to look like, this is where you're going to put the fine tuning and specific information in each section. Okay, so from there we're going to go to the tab section. Now in the tab section, this is where you determine how you want your tab set up on the left side of the page. So here you see about, likes, reviews, posts, videos, photos, events. You will have the ability to control all of that, and you control those settings here in this section. Okay, so then the next section we're going to go to are the tabs, the event section. Now here you have events, and you can add that tab if you want in that section. Notes, services, shop. These are all things that you have control over adding on your page. Again, if you're creating the page from scratch. Then next, we're going to go to roles. Now, earlier I talked about what being able to block content on the page, where the role section is important, because this is if you have a team and you want to give someone the ability to make changes on your page, or if you have an executive assistant that you want to have the ability to go in and do things on the page, this is where you define roles and give them the ability to do that in the roles section. Okay, and word to the wise, make sure whoever you give the ability to make changes to your page in this section you really trust, because if you give them all the rights that you have, they can go in and do anything, including lock you out of the ability to make changes on your page. So make sure you're very careful about who you give that responsibility to. So after that, then we're going to move to the next section, which is posting content on your Facebook page. And so this is important, so pay attention. Okay, so now we're going to learn how to post content to our Facebook page. And the first thing we want to do is look at what's called the backdate feature. Now, the backdate feature is important because your content is everything. That's what makes your page interesting to people. And if your content isn't good, or if your content doesn't demonstrate the fact that you're a professional, it basically undermines the whole point of having a professional Facebook page. And one of the things that we want to be able to do when we open a new page, since you haven't had content before, is we want to backdate it. And what that simply means is it allows you to post content and put dates earlier than your page was actually in operation, and which gives the impression that you've had content on the page for quite some time. So this is where you would find the backdate feature in the publish section, and then you can also schedule when you actually post certain items on your page. Then after that, we want to learn how to promote ourselves. Now, you don't want to over promote your business on Facebook. What you want to do, probably 80%, maybe 70% of your posts should be informational posts and things that are not about your business, but that are educational and that establish that you're an expert. and then only 20 or 30% should be things that directly solicit business where you're actually asking someone to use you. So make sure that there's a really good balance of educational material, depending on your certain area, that's going to establish you as an expert and give them information that they would be interested in that's not directly related to them using your services. Because if you establish yourself as an expert and they know what you do, believe me, they will seek you out to purchase from you or use you as their real estate professional. So then, yeah, so here it says 10% of your post should be promotional, but you have a little wiggle room there. It depends on what you have, because promotion is not only buy from me. 10% might be buy from me, but another 10% might be you posting open houses and things of that nature. So that's where you get the 70% from. 10% buy from me, another 10% open houses, and another 10% come out to my home buyer workshops. So 10, 10, 10, that gives you 30, because each tenth is a different type of promotion. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So here is that we talked about your URL earlier. In your promotions, you want to include your URL, because this is going to attract people to you. But then also you can include your URLs to uh, uh, websites that have information about your business. So I'll give an example. We often teach people how to do one-page websites for various properties. This is where you would post the URL for that, and that would take them directly to the website for the property that you're listing. So this is basically, these are the rules for promoting yourself on Facebook. Remember, the backdate feature. You can backdate the information you want to post. And when I'm talking about backdating, I'm referring to the educational material we discussed. The second rule is we don't want to over promote ourselves. Remember, 70% educational and about 30% is using your business, and you want to break that down in 10. So 10% use me. Do you know anyone who wants to buy a home or sell a home? 10% of that. 10% of open houses and pictures of you actually working with clients, and then another 10% inviting people out to open houses and things of that nature. That's how you get your 30%. Okay, so from there, that covers the type of content you want to post on your page. And before we transition to the next section, remember, if you want to use a professional to post regular content, Local Social Pro, I use them all the time. They're really good, and they can manage all of your content posting needs for you. They're a great company for that. So from there, we're going to go to our last and final section, which is building your fan base. And this is really probably the simplest part of the whole Facebook business page process, but it's also one of the most important parts, because this is where you really are able to expand your business. Remember, your business isn't going to thrive simply because who you know. It's going to thrive because who your friends know. So what you want to do here is you're going to build an audience, and there are two ways to do it. You can either invite people using the email contact option, where you would go in, select the emails, and then it would shoot out an email directly to certain people. Or you can just use the invite friends option. And with this option, you select invite friends, and Facebook automatically sends out an invite to all of your Facebook friends. Okay, so here, this is where you make that selection, and then it's going to invite your closest friends, and then you're going to ask the people you know, literally, hey Joe, go out and ask people to sign up for my page, send them an invite, and then they'll invite people they know, and that's how you expand your fan base, and it's pretty much that simple. So now what we've done today is we've laid a really strong foundation for you to start marketing your business on Facebook. That's pretty much all for today. Thank you for joining, and we will see you next time here at Model Mortgage HPLB Naperville. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.